I just had Tom's headstone redone, which sounds like a crazy thing to do, but I actually changed it. The inscription now is, "Love lives on."
I had just come from teaching, and my friend called me and said, "I've got this incredible guy." Alex walked in, and I remember seeing him and sitting up a little straighter and thinking, whew, that's a good-looking guy.
It was interesting that everything in our lives just came together, that we had so many of the same interests, both in the Guard, both all about serving our country. It truly was as if I had known him forever and ever and ever.
He had a great future ahead of him. John had been identified to go to airborne school. Not a lot of Air Force people get to do that. And he'd been identified to go to officer training school.
Rob Bowman was cute. I was 20 years old. He was 23. We met. 6 weeks later, we were engaged, and 6 months later, we were married, and we were married for 20 years and 4 days.
He was shaking, and I asked him, I said, "Why are you so twitchy?" He said, "Because I'm gonna ask you to marry me." And I looked in his eyes, and it was without a doubt, I knew he was the person for me.
We were 15 years old. A mutual friend introduced us to one another. We became friends very quickly and started dating. And that was kind of how it all began.
It was a voluntary deployment. Dave didn't have to go. He fought the chain to be allowed to go. He was actually going out to forward operating bases to meet with soldiers.
Rich did come back a changed person. How could you not?
Rob started not feeling well. He'd never even gone on sick call in the 20 years that he'd been in at the time.
His last words to me were to tell our little baby boy or our baby girl that he loved them and that everything was going to be all right. And he hung up the phone.
The day that Dave died, he was on a convoy. It was a regular route. There was a SUV that had over 1,200 pounds of explosives in it that drove up next to the Rhino and slammed into it, and it exploded on contact.
Finally, Rob went into the hospital and basically demanded, he said, "I'm not leaving until you tell me what's wrong." And so 3 days later, that's when he was diagnosed. It was stage 4, non-operable.
They knocked at the door, and I just knew. I knew. I knew my Joe was gone. I knew he was gone. And of course, my first thought was for the kids. And how will I tell them?
I took them upstairs, and I sat them on my bed, and I said, "There's been an accident. Daddy's not coming home." Roanin screamed, "No," as loud as he could, and burst into tears, and Max just shut down.
One of the first things that I thought to myself is it's my fault. I should have told him not to go. I should have convinced him to stay. He's gone. And that hit me hard. I was very, very angry. The fact that God took him away. I still think, why would you take a kid's dad away?
Rich died on a Monday morning. The baby was due any moment. I'm supposed to be excited. This is supposed to be the happiest moment of my life, and I must be the only person in the world that this has ever happened to.
I went to go visit Alex in Arlington on what would have been our wedding day, and it was the first time I had seen his headstone. And I was very visibly upset, wanting peace, just longing for that connection to him. There were all these people walking around in these red TAPS shirts. I remember one woman just walking right behind me and putting her hand on my shoulder and just squeezing so tightly. It was as if they knew they couldn't fix it.
6 months before he died, Rob said, "Promise me that you'll tell my story." He said, "If this is how God is taking me, and I am the face of toxic exposures, I'm happy to do that for the men behind me. But tell my story so that we can help protect the others that are going to follow me." I knew I had a mission.
I was in the fetal position on my kitchen floor, sobbing hysterically. I'd put my boys to bed, and it was someplace they couldn't hear me, and I called them. TAPS has kept my family together.
They helped her, and ever since then we've been going there. It's been so awesome. And Good Grief Camp kind of helps you get into a position where you're thinking logically again.
I realized as soon as I went through the first seminar that this was just not just for the boys. It was for me. This was very much so for me.
TAPS filled a void. We were grieving, but there was something missing. We weren't connecting with other people who had similar losses. And so when we went to our first suicide seminar, we realized we weren't alone.
The smile on your kid's face, that's everything. One of the first real smiles I remember was them coming in from one of their events at Good Grief Camp on the backs of their mentors, you know, laughing with them, and just that look of pure joy.
Love lives on. That's what I want every family to know. That's what TAPS is, and that's what we can do. That is the gift that we can give, and it is love.
The work must continue. In that time of crisis, there's nobody that I trust more than somebody else that has also been through exactly what I've been through. To know the pain that you're in, and to feel the hopelessness that it's never gonna go away, because the only thing that makes it go away is them coming back, and they're never coming back. With TAPS, they let you know that you're not alone and that there is hope.
I am TAPS.
I am TAPS.
My name is Roanin, and I am TAPS. My name is Max, and I am TAPS.
I am Max and Ronin's mama, and I am TAPS.
I am Coleen Bowman, and I am TAPS.
My name is John Gaines, and I am TAPS.
My name is Chantel Dooley. I am TAPS.
We are all TAPS, and you will never be alone.